Have you ever felt like your mind's playing tricks on you? Well, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into 10 mind traps that you probably fall into every day, and you don't even notice. We like to think that we make decisions based on logic, that we analyze the facts, weigh the pros and cons, and choose the most rational path forward. But in reality, your brain doesn't always work like a computer. It cuts corners. It jumps to conclusions. It fills in blanks with assumptions. Most of the time, it does this to help you because thinking takes energy and your brain wants to save that energy. But those shortcuts often lead you into traps. These are called cognitive biases, mental patterns that influence the way you perceive the world, often without you realizing it. Today, we'll walk through 10 of the most common psychological traps, and once you know them, you'll start spotting them in your everyday life. Let's begin. 1. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance happens when your actions and beliefs clash. It creates a feeling of discomfort, almost like your mind is at war with itself. Say you believe that being healthy is important, but you eat fast food every day. That gap between belief and behavior? It bothers your brain, so what does it do? It tries to resolve the tension. You might say, I'm too busy to cook, or I'll start next week, or even everyone eats junk food sometimes. These justifications reduce the internal conflict, but they're not always truthful. Cognitive dissonance isn't a bad thing. It's a sign that something's out of sync. And that signal can either push you toward change or deeper denial. 2. The spotlight effect. We tend to believe that other people notice our mistakes, flaws, or awkward moments way more than they actually do. You spill coffee on your shirt and feel like everyone is staring at you. But here's the reality. Most people didn't notice. Why? Because they're too busy thinking about themselves. They're worried about their own appearance, their own problems, their own image. The spotlight effect tricks us into thinking we're on stage all the time. But the truth is, everyone is living in their own little spotlight, and that's kind of freeing, isn't it? 3. Anchoring bias. Anchoring happens when you rely too heavily on the first piece of information you receive, no matter how irrelevant it is. For example, if I tell you that a car costs $50,000 and then offer it to you for $35,000, you might think that's a great deal. But maybe the car was only worth $25,000 to begin with. That first number, the anchor, sets your expectations. This trick is everywhere. In pricing, in negotiations, in real estate, even in dating profiles. Whoever sets the first anchor usually controls the perception of value. So next time someone throws out a number or fact first, pause and think critically. Ask yourself, is that anchor real or just a trick? 4. The halo effect. You meet someone who's physically attractive or has a charismatic smile. Immediately, your brain fills in the gaps. They must also be smart, kind, confident, and successful. This is the halo effect, when one positive trait overshadows everything else. It's why celebrities are asked for political opinions, or why we trust people in lab coats, even if they're not doctors. The reverse is true too. If someone comes off as rude or unpleasant, we might assume they're also incompetent or untrustworthy, even if we have no proof. The halo effect clouds our judgment. We don't see people for who they really are. We see them through the lens of first impressions. 5. The gambler's fallacy. Let's say you're flipping a coin. It lands on heads 5 times in a row. Now what do you think will come next? Your brain screams, tails! It's due. But mathematically, it's still a 50-50 chance. The coin doesn't have memory. Each flip is independent. This is the gambler's fallacy, the belief that past events affect future outcomes in a random process. It leads people to keep gambling after losing or to expect luck to change. This bias isn't just found in casinos, it shows up in sports, investing, and even dating. Recognizing randomness is harder than it sounds. 6. The contrast effect. Imagine trying on a $2,000 suit, then a $100 shirt. That shirt seems cheap in comparison until you realize you've never spent $100 on a shirt before. The contrast effect means that we judge things not on their absolute value, but based on what came before. In job interviews, if you follow a weak candidate, you'll seem stronger. But if you follow a superstar, you might seem less impressive, despite being equally qualified. Our brain compares everything, and those comparisons shape our decisions more than we realize. 7. Confirmation bias. We all like to believe we're open-minded, but when we come across information, we tend to favor what confirms our existing beliefs and ignore what contradicts them. If you think a politician is corrupt, you'll remember every negative headline and forget the neutral or positive ones. Online, this gets worse. Algorithms feed you more of what you already agree with, creating an echo chamber. Confirmation bias narrows our thinking and polarizes opinions. Being aware of this doesn't mean you'll avoid it, but it does mean you can start questioning your instincts. Ask yourself, am I looking for the truth or just for something that makes me feel right? 8. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Ever learn a new word or concept and then suddenly see it everywhere? It's not magic. It's not coincidence. It's your brain sharpening its filter. Before, that information was just noise. Now that you're aware of it, your brain brings it into focus. This is called frequency illusion. And while it can be exciting, it can also be misleading, making you think something is happening more than it really is. Awareness doesn't equal increase, it just feels that way. 9. The Zeigarnik effect. Your brain doesn't like open loops. Unfinished tasks stick in your mind, nagging you, pulling at your focus. This is why you can't relax when you've forgotten to send that one email, or why cliffhangers in TV shows keep you coming back. Interestingly, just writing down a plan for how to finish a task helps your brain let go of the anxiety. You don't always need to complete everything immediately. Your brain just wants to know that you will. Closure matters. 10. The paradox of choice. We live in a world of options. Streaming platforms, online shopping, job opportunities. It seems like more choice should equal more freedom, but too many choices lead to analysis paralysis. You second guess, compare endlessly, and often regret the final decision. You buy a new phone and instantly wonder if another model would have been better. This constant doubt is mentally exhausting. Ironically, studies show people are happier with fewer choices because they commit more fully and regret less. So next time you're overwhelmed, try narrowing your options. Simplicity brings clarity. Your brain is powerful, but it's not always accurate. It uses shortcuts and patterns to make sense of the world, especially when things move fast. These biases aren't flaws, they're part of being human. But once you recognize them, you gain power. You can slow down, think twice, and question your automatic reactions. And in a world that constantly demands your attention, that awareness gives you an edge. So next time you're about to make a decision, ask yourself, is this truly what I believe, or am I being tricked by my own mind? Because the more you understand how your brain works, the better choices you'll make. And that's where true growth begins. Remember, your mind can be your greatest ally. Stay aware, stay strong, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. See you soon on Unique Mind.